court, you are not telling the court the honest fact. The version of the accused person is that the first time you appeared in his presence was when you were called to meet with Mr. Mabena and Mr. Mohani next to the garage on the way towards Albertine. Do you dispute that?
Yes, my lord. Can confirm that.
Ndingakwazi ukukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi waqala ukubona ngesikhathi ehlangana noMabena noMkhane egarage.
You were traveling with a white GTI in company of another colored male person.
My crew member, my lord, was Constable Lissering. He is a colored, my lord.
Athi wahamba ngemoto lapho emotweni wahamba nenye insizwa ekuthiwa iyikhalado sithi cha umuntu engisebenzisana nayo uConstable Lissering o engisebenzisana naye.
Correct. On that particular day, when you were called by Mr. Mkhane, the accused person, accused number 2, they were traveling with a white Fortuner with Constable Mabena and Constable Mkhane.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi mkhawuhlana naye kwa umsosibili wayehamba noConstable Mabena noMkhane waseyavuma athi kunjalo.
The accused person was handcuffed from behind whilst he was seated in that white Toyota Fortuner.
The accused was handcuffed in front, my lord.
Athi-ke umbuzo uthi umsolwa wayefakwe ozankosi bengemumva ngesikhathi mhlawumbe hlangana wathi cha umsolwa wayefakwe ozankosi kodwa bebengaphambili.
It is further my instruction that Sergeant Buteles and Mapumulo arrived traveling with a hard body, a white hard body, Baki.
Yes, I can confirm, my lord.
Athi angasiletha isiqiniseko sokuthi uSergeant Buthelezi wayehamba nge-hard body emhlophe.
Both Mohane and Mabena alighted from the white Toyota Fortuner, and you had a discussion with him or with them, both of them. You had a discussion with them. Do you agree?
Yes, my lord.
Ngiyavuma ukuthi uMkhane noMabena bathi mabephuma ku-Toyota Fortuner baseba nezingxoxo nabo.
All right. At that time, after that meeting or some kind of meeting, accused number 2 was taken out of the Toyota Fortuner and put into that motor vehicle we were traveling at the back seat, on the right side of the back seat of the rest seat of the motor vehicle we were traveling with. Do you dispute that?
Are you referring to Maroka police station, my lord?
Can you please follow my version so that you said I talked about meeting the accused person for the first time, accused number 2, near a garage on the way towards Albertine.
Yes, my lord.
Athi-ke waqala ukubona nomsolwa egaraji endleleni eya eAlbertine wathi yebo.
Yes. When he was taken to a motor vehicle, I was putting the version to the effect that he was put inside your motor vehicle at the back of the driver's seat.
My lord, as I mentioned, I met the accused at Maroka SCPS, not at a garage.
Athi umsolwa-ke wabekwa esihlalweni sangemumva emotweni wahamba ngathi cha hayi ngahlangana naye eMorika police station zange ngihlangane naye egarage.
All right, you'll get into that. That's just get into my instructions. Then immediately after that, Constable or Sergeant Mabena entered your vehicle and sat at the back of that motor vehicle on the left-hand side?
No, my lord.
Constable Mabena azange ngene emotweni yami.
The door was open and Constable Buthelezi was standing next to the accused, next to accused number 2.
Sisicaba sasivulekile uConstable Buthelezi wahlala wema lapho eduze nala kuhleli khona umsolo wesibili.
No, my lord.
Athi cha kunjani.
Okay. You then pushed the front seat backwards towards the accused and you pressed him hard, very hard, on his knees with that seat.
Athe waseke usunduza esitulo sangaphambili basunduzela kumsolwa and samcindezela kakhulu.
No, my lord.
Cha kunjani.
At that moment, Sergeant Mabena was putting a grey plastic on his face and Buthelezi was blocking the accused from getting out of the motor vehicle.
Athi ngaleso sikhathi ke uSergeant Mabena wemfaka uplastic ebusweni and uSergeant Buthelezi ke na wemvalela ukuthi angakwazi ukuphuma.
No, my lord.
Cha kunjani.
Sorry, Mr. Gomezulu, is this at the Alberton garage?
That's correct, my lord.
Outside the garage?
Outside the garage, a distance away from the garage. Okay. It is further my instruction that the assault, the tubing continued until you convened another meeting. After you stopped, you convened another meeting after Mr. Mokhane received a call. Can you dispute that also?
No, my lord. I was never at a garage with the accused or with Sergeant Mokhane.
Kwaqhubeka ukuthi ahlukunyezwe ngifaka eshophu waze wafaka umhlangano athi cha hayi angikaze ngibe egarage no Sergeant Mokhane.
Then you got into your vehicles with the accused. Then you proceeded to an open area next to the steel tanks. That area, it's next to a dumping site towards Alberton. That's where all the cars stopped.
No, my lord. I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Upon your arrival at that place, you all alighted from the motor vehicle, including the accused person. Then Brigadier Gininda arrived in company of a man who was wearing Chris bundles or Chris belts and a lady Mohola.
No, my lord. I have no knowledge of that.
Kwase lapho kufika uBrigadier Gininda hamba nendoda egqoma crossband hamba nomuntu esifazane okuthiwa uMohola wathi cha angikwazi lokho.
They were traveling in a white BMW.
Bahamba iBMW emhlophe.
I would not know, my lord.
Athi angeke ngikwaba nalolu lwazi.
There was also a meeting in the presence of Gininda. The accused person, accused number 2, was removed of the handcuffs that were handcuffed from behind, from his hands. That was Mabena who removed those handcuffs from behind.
Ke ngaleso sikhathi ke kuno Brigadier Gininda umsola kwakhishwa ozankosi ababeboshwe ngemuva kwakhe bakhishwa uMabena.
Then his jacket with was taken out.
He was handcuffed
the front.
Base bafaka ozankosi izandla zingaphambili.
Can you dispute that also?
Ngaphikisa lokho.
Yes, my lord. As when I received the accused for the first time, his handcuffs was in front, my lord.
Athi yebo ngakuphikisa ngoba mangiqala ke nje ukuthola umsolwa umsolwa kwaye ngozankosi izandla zingaphambili.
All right. Immediately thereafter, there was, or there is, if those poles or those stairs are still there, where you took the accused person, accused number 2, towards those steel poles and removed one handcuff from one side of his hand and tied it on that pole.
Tiwake wakhona la kunetebhisi khona la wafika khona wakhipha isandla esisodwa ukhipha uzankosi esandleni esisodwa wasekombophela ke kulezo insimbi umsolo.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Cha nginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
Then between yourself, you can't recall, between yourself and Mabena, there's a person who poured him with water. He had a container he had a container and poured the accused with water from his front part of the body.
Phakathi kwakho noMabhena akasazi ukuthi umuphi kodwa uthi oyedwa yena wayephethe into ekwazi ukuthutha amanzi owamthela ngamanzi phambili emzimbeni wakhe.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
That's when Brigadier Kininda told accused number 2 that he must tell the truth about the death of Senzo Meyiwa.
Ilapho Brigadier Kininda athi atshela ukuthi akakhuluma iqiniso mayelana nokushona kaSenzo Meyiwa.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
And during the course of that, a plastic bag was also put on his face, or on covering his head and his face, where this chopping continued.
Athi ngaleso sikhathi ke wathatha plastic wafaka phezulu kwekhanda lakhe baqhubeka ke umhlomeza ngendlela ebizwa i-chopping ngesilungu.
My lord, the first time I met the suspect was at Moroka SABC, my lord.
Qala kwami ukubona umsolwa kuse siphoyiseni saseMoroka.
There was a device that was used to electrocute the accused person. He was electrocuted from his stomach.
Kuthiwa khona umshini owayesetshenziswa ke ukubambisa umsolwa ngogesi kodwa ke lo mshini lo wawuthintiswa esiswini sakhe umsolwa.
You, Mr. Mabena and Buthelezi were exchanging during the use of this device.
Bathi ke wena noMabhena noButhelezi nanishintshisana ngokusebenzisa lo mshini lo.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
Before I forget this instruction, it's very important what I'm going to tell you.
Kona ngifuna ukutshela kona kusemqoka kakhulu.
It's my instruction that from the first time when I put the version of the accused, Sergeant Mkhano did not partake to the assault, chopping, and torturing of the accused. Did not participate. He was always outside.
Ke yonke lento ayenza uSergeant Mkhano wayengekho azange angene ekuhlukumezeni umsolwa ngasonke isikhathi wayengaphandle.
What do you say about it?
My lord, Sergeant Mukhane would ask us for assistance in either handing over the suspect or escorting.
Sergeant Mkhane wayesicela usizwa mayelana nokuthi sinikezele ngomsolwa noma ke ukumphelezela umsolwa.
I'll get to that as well.
And when the suspect is in the vicinity, my lord, Sergeant Mkhane is also present.
Manje ke uma ke umsolwa eseduze uSergeant Mkhane naye ke kwakufanele abe khona lapha eduze.
Okay. Let me proceed with my version, with the version of accused number 2. During the process of using that device, after the plastic was taken out from his head, the accused bled, started bleeding from his nose.
Emva ukuthi ke kususa lo plastic bese ke lo umsola aqhunye kulo mshini waqala ukopha igazi ngamakhala.
Do you also dispute that?
Ngiyaphikisa
Yes, I do,
nalokho.
my lord.
Athi yebo ngiyaphikisa.
That's then Sergeant Mkhane, the accused person, will come and tell the court that he heard Sergeant Mkhane saying, I just want to get the correct word that was used. May I approach my lord? There's a word,
Yes,
a specific word that was used by Mkhane. Thank you. The exact words said by Sergeant Mkhane was that yekelani man.
Kuthiwa ke izwi lasetshenziswa uSergeant Mkhane ilithi yekelani demand, usho ukuthi yekelani le ndoda.
My lord, at no point was the suspect in one of our EMPD vehicles during the escort or when taken or handed over at the police station.
Thi umsola akaze angene emotweni zethu ngesikhathi enikezelwa nanokuthi ayokhishwa esikhumulweni samaphoyisa.
That's then accused number 2 was untied and taken back. He was wet, bleeding, and he was taken back to the Toyota Fortuner.
Wathi ke lapho umsola athathwa iswa ku Toyota Fortuner. Ngaleso sikhathi ke wayopha igazi futhi wayemanzi.
You had to travel from that spot as you were escorting the Toyota Fortuner entered Chris Hani Hospital.
Thiwa ngesikhathi ke nihamba niphelezela umsola Toyota Fortuner yangena esibhedlela saseChris Hani Baragwanath.
My lord, may I just consult? Thank you. Thank you, madam. When they entered Chris Hani Hospital, Mohano and Mabena and the accused person with the Fortuna, that's when Colonel Raphadu came into the picture.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Athi mazongena esibhedlela umkhane no Mabena uyilapho ke okwavela khona uColonel Raphadu wathi anginalo ulwazi lo.
All right. Colonel Raphadu and got into the vehicle. He gave the keys to his wife, and they were in company of the child. I think they brought the child to the hospital, but we can't prove that. What the accused number 2 has observed is that Colonel Raphadu gave the keys to his wife.
So Colonel Raphadu wanika unkosikazi wakhe okhiye kwaye nengane lapho kodwa ke asikho isiqiniseko saloko kodwa ke okwabona umsola wesibili ukuthi uColonel Raphadu wanika unkosikazi wakhe okhiye.
I don't know about that, my lord. I met the Colonel Raphadu for the first time at Moroka SABC.
Dayilo anginalwazi lolo kodwa ngaqala ukubona uColonel Raphadu eMoroka police station.
Okay. Soon thereafter, they traveled and you were escorting them to a certain place in Orlando. It's an open area. It's also next to a dumping area where there are ATM machines that were no longer functioning.
Uthi emva kwaloko ke nahamba ke na endaweni ese-Orlando eseduze kwala kuchithwa khona udoti futhi kwakunendawo ke la kunama ATM khona angasasebenzi.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi loloko.
And I want to remind you that according to that version, when accused number 2 said he was poured with water, it was winter time.
Afuna nginezezela ukuthi ngalesi sikhathi umsolo ethelwa ngamanzi kwakusebusika.
You escorted them until you stopped at that particular area, and Brigadier Kininda arrived with those crew members.
Wathi yena waphelezela ukuyofika kuleyo ndawo and futhi ke ilapho ke kwafika khona uColonel Kininda ehamba nasebenza nabo.
My lord, the only escort that was conducted was from Moroka SABC to Fort Lawrence Magistrate's Court, my lord.
Manje ke ukuphelezela okwenzeka kosuka eMoroka ukubafikisa esiphoyiseni sase-Fort Lawrence.
When Brigadier arrived, he opened the book with the boot of the BMW. He sat on the edge of the boot and he took out some documents.
Athi uma efika Brigadier lapho avula ibhuthi ye-BMW wasesahlala khona lapho kuleyo bhuthi waseveza ngamaphepha athisi.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
All right. Brigadier Kininda took those documents and gave them to Colonel Raphadu.
Athi kuBrigadier Kininda wathi mesevula amaphepha anika uColonel Raphadu.
I did not see Mr. Brigadier Ganinda at Moroka SABC.
Ngizange ngimbone uBrigadier Kininda eMoroka police station.
All right. Assault, torture continued.
Athi ukuhlukunyezwa nokushaya kwaqhubeka.
Instructed accused number 2 to sign those documents.
Baphoqa umsolwa wesibili ukuthi asayinde lawo maphepha.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Cha anginalo olwazi lwalokho.
The documents were signed by accused number 2 under that coercion. Lawo maphepha lawa asendwa umsolwa wesibili ngaphansi kwaleyo ngcindezi. Thereafter, there were certain documents that were not thumbprinted.
Emva kwalokho khona amanye kamaphepha angazange abekwe iminwe.
I would not know about the thumbprint, my lord.
Athi angazi lutho ngaleyo minwe.
Immediately thereafter, accused number 2 was taken to Primrose.
Atemva kwalawo
Police station.
umsole wesibili wathathwa yiswa esikhumulweni sasemaphoyisa sase-Primrose.
I have no knowledge of that.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
He was not booked in. Sergeant Mkhano entered the police station with the purpose of booking in accused number 2.
Azange abhaliswe ke lapho kodwa uSecretary Mkhano wangena naye imsola e-police station enzela ukuthi ayomfaka khona.
I have no knowledge of Jamestown, my lord.
Athi hayi angazi lutho ngeJamestown.
Then, according to his instruction, Sergeant Mabena was talking over the phone in the motor vehicle and informed the person who was talking with over the phone that Mr. Mkhano is inside the police station.
Manje kusani mabhena wayekhuluma nomunye ekhuluma ngocingo wasetshela lo muntu ayekhuluma naye ukuthi hayi uSergeant Mkhano ungaphakathi esikhumulweni samaphoyisa.
Upon his arrival back from the police station, Sergeant Mkhano, there was an instruction that they should travel to Rustenburg.
Emva ukuthi aphumeke esikhumulweni samaphoyisa uSergeant Mkhano wayesathola umlayezo ukuthi umyalelo ukuthi akahambe aye eRustenburg.
Were you still escorting them?
Awusawaphelezela?
I was not in Jamestown, my lord.
Ngangingekho eJamestown.
They then traveled to Rustenburg. They were escorted by you. Sorry, may I just correct that? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Manu. The escort actually stopped after that. So they had to travel to Rustenburg, where the accused was residing.
Bathi hayi kuphelezela kwamakhona lapho ke baseke baqela ukuthi baye eRustenburg la kwakuhlala khona umsomo.
Sorry, I want to understand. So Raphadu, Ginanda, Mabena, and all those guys all traveled to Rustenburg, in other words.
Raphadu was. May I just take an instruction?
Yeah, because as far as I'm concerned, Ginanda is seated there.
Yes.
At the boot of the BMW.
Just to
give the documents to Raphadu. Then everything goes blank. Then people are traveling to Rustenburg. Where is Raphadu? Where is Ginina? Where is the lady in white?
May I approach the accused? Thank you, my lord. Thank you for the indulgence. My instruction is that Colonel Raphadu, he actually left with Brigadier Ginenda.
Umyalelo wami uthi uColonel Raphadu wahamba no Brigadier Ginenda.
Because he was not present when the accused was taken to Primrose police station.
Ngoba engekho ngesikhathi umsola eyiswa esikhumulweni samaphoyisa sase-Primrose.
On the way to Rustenburg, where they met Brigadier Ginenda in the presence of Sergeant Mohola.
Manje kumase eRustenburg la bahlangana khona noGinenda no-Sergeant Mohola.
The accused person was left attended in the motor vehicle, in the Toyota Fortuner, and they proceeded to his place.
Nje-ke umsolwa wayeshiyeke emotweni iFortuner and then base-ke beyaqhubeka beya la ehlala khona.
That's when Sergeant Mabena came back in possession of a black plastic bag, which he said they found ammunition in his room.
Ilapho abuya khona uSergeant Mabena ephethe uplastic omnyama athi khona babuya ney'nhlamvu zesibhamu.
Then accused number 2 asked Mabena, how did you enter his room? Because he was in possession of the keys.
Manje umsolwa wesibili waseyabuza ukuthi ungene kanjani lapha kulelo gumbi ngoba mina ukhiye ngisabaphethe.
Then there was no answer from them.
Akuzange-ke kube nempendulo kulokho.
You can't comment on it.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lolo.
Let's get into the 24th of June 2020.
Asiyeke umhla 24 June 2020.
When the accused was escorted to Boksburg court,
Uma umsolwa esephelezelwa-ke enkantolo yaseBoksburg.
where was he escorted from?
Waphelezelwa esuka
From Moot SAPS.
wayesuka eMoat SAPS.
By who?
Wayephelezelwa ba?
By myself and few other members.
Wayephelezelwa yimina nabanye-ke engisebenzisana nabo abambalwa.
July 2022 on an ex parte basis.
What time was it?
Urgent
Where's
government
Katsini?
application for a revival of the 2017 order for a further period of 2 years. Lawyers for Human Rights.
It was in the afternoon, my lord.
The 2017
Kuyintambama.
has been admitted as an intervening party in these ex
In the
parte
afternoon, what time?
Ntambama esikhatsini.
The present application
Approximately from 1 up to 2, my lord.
Ingaba kuyila esiphakathi kwamahora lika-1 nelesibili.
So I want to check if that time frame makes sense of your evidence. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
Funeka kuhlala ukuthi la mahora ngiyona ka-1 nelika-2 ayazwakala yini.
I want to be sure as to what time did you arrive with accused number 2 at Boksburg court.
Ngifuna nje ukubhekisisa ukuthi nafika ngesikhatsini nomsolwa wesibili enkantolo yaseBoksburg.
The exact time, my lord, I can't recall, but as far as I know, it was in the afternoon, my lord.
Angeke ngitshele ukuthi kwakuyisikhatsini kodwa-ke engingakusho ukuthi kwakuyintambama.
Okay, let me just clarify this because I have the statement of Mohola that I'm going to use later. How many-
Ngifuna ukuchaza-ke la ngoba nestatement sikaMohola engizobuyela kusona emva kwesikhathi.
How many times did you escort accused number 2 to Boksburg court? How many times in different days? How many times?
Wamphelezela kangaki umsolwa ey'nsukwini ezehlukile ukuya eBoksburg?
It was only twice, my lord. First time was from Moroka to Vosloorus. Second time was from Moot SAPS to Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Namphelezela kabili wayesuka eMoroka kuye eVosloorus, okwesibili kwakusuka eMoat kuyimisa eBoksburg.
All right. So this time between 1 and 2 is associated with which escort from Vosloorus to Moroka or from Moat to Boksburg?
From Moot to Boksburg, my lord.
Athi isikhathi esikhuluma ngaso sika-1 no-2 sisikhuluma ngalesi sikhathi-ke ephelezelwa esuke eMoat eyiswa eBoksburg.
All right. So from Moat to Boksburg, that's the time when the magistrate had to actually took a confession from the accused.
It has no power to do so so
That's correct, Mama.
after the
bathi kusuka moto ke boss back ila imanje eyakwazi ukuthatha istatement so
clarity is required from this court by way of a
There's an
declarative
entry that the accused person
explain
was
the
booked at.
construction of the 2017
I just
they
confirmed.
proposed ought to be understood as continuing to operate effectively, reading in the 48-hour procedure to section 34.1 after the expiry of the suspension pending Parliament's enactment of the legislation. Lawyers for Human Rights also submitted that this court should direct that when a judicial officer is to consider whether to
All right,
extend
thanks,
a
ma'am.
detention in terms of section 34.1b of
So,
the Act,
The magistrate, upon her arrival at Boksburg prison,
Furthermore,
Boksburg
lawyers for human rights
police
submitted
station,
that in order to
sorry,
provide
Boksburg
guidance
court,
in the absence of objectively
did she find you
determinable
there?
conditions, the court should direct
manje
that
misizofika ke imanje eBoksburg court yanithola lapho
officers must, in
No, my lord,
considering
as we
exercise
went to
the
Ms.
power
Cronje's
of
office.
bathi cha ngoba thina saya e-ofisini lika Miss Cronje
that detention be
So you
discontinued
arrived first before Mrs.
and that
Cronje.
appropriate
manje ke nina
alternatives
nafika kuqala ngafika Mrs Cronje
No, my lord, when we arrived at the office, Ms. Cronje was at her office.
no ukuthi uma sifika e-ofisini lakhe samthole ekhona e-ofisi lakhe
According to her evidence, she said when she arrived at Boksburg prison, in Boksburg court, in the passage, there were Metro police officers that were heavily armed.
uthi kumefika lapho ke eBoksburg court wathola kunamaphoyisa ayehlome kakhulu amaphoyisa emetro
terms of section 172
I'm sure she was referring to us, my lord, as we were armed on the day.
amplified
mhlawumbe wayekhuluma ngathi ngoba sasihlomile ngalelo langa
supplement
Her testimony is that when the people that she saw
this
were the
court
heavily
holds that
armed Metro
lawyers
police
for human
officer,
rights has proposed construction
there was a
of
man
the
that was
2017
handcuffed
order
and a
failed
man
to
that was
pass the
wearing a
test
suit.
for
That was her
necessary
evidence.
uthi-ke umele ethi ufakazi bakhe uthi-ke wathi umebona namphoyisa ayihlome kakhulu kwakukhona indoda eyayiboshwe ngozankosi kwakukhona futhi nendoda eyayigqoke isuti lapho
in the event of
That's correct, my lord.
athi kunjani
So that means you arrived first
manje
because
lokho
she's the one who found you there.
manje lokho kuchaza ukuthi yinini enafika kuqala ngoba yena wanithola lapho
My lord, we arrived in the passage, or we were standing in the passage on our way or in front of Ms. Cronje's office.
hayi thina sasime nje epassage sisendleleni yokuya noma ukuba phambi kwehhovisi likaMiss Cronje
But my question was, did you arrive before Mrs. Cronje arrived at Boksburg court, or she arrived first?
As it does, there is no need
buzo wami ukuthi yini nafika kuqala no Miss Cronje wafika kuqala lapho
pending the enactment of
My lord, we were only given instruction as to the office we should take the accused to.
that remedial
athi cha esasikwazi nje ukuthi sasitshelwe silayelwe ukuthi siye ehhovisi elithize
Okay. It's your evidence that you were, Mr. Mohano is the one who made copies of your certificates.
That's correct, my lord.
athi umukhano yena wenza amakopi ama-certificate zethu athi yebo kunjalo
On that day, you had your pocket books.
ngalelanga naniphethe ama-pocket book enu
That's correct, my lord.
athi yebo kunjalo
So it must have been recorded in your pocket books as to when did you arrive there.
kufanele kuwukuthi kwaqoshwa kuma-pocket book enu ukuthi nafika ngasikhathi sini la
That's correct, my lord.
bathi kunjani
Right. Then you made copies of yourself, of your certificate, and handed them to Sergeant Mohano. You said you did not enter the the office
of authorized detention
when the accused was
and the court
interviewed.
must again
That's
apply
correct, my lord.
Nathi ngenza izitifiketi zenu nasenzinika uSergeant Mokhana nathi ke futhi anizange ningene ngesikhathi umsolwa kuzokhulunywa nawe wathi yebo kunjani.
All right. So prior to the closing of the door of room 2, where Mrs. Cronje was, and the process of interviewing the accused number 2, where did you go?
Manje emva kokuthi kuvalwe isicabha kuleli office lesibili nokuthi ke umsolwayo ngaleso sikhathi ke sokukhulunywa naye la ngaphakathi kulelo gumbi lelo nina nasala naya.
We were outside at the vehicles, my lord.
Sasingaphandle ezimotweni.
Okay. So after the whole process was done and dusted, you then escorted the accused.
Ngemva konke lokhu sekuphelele napheleza lumsolwa futhi.
Sergeant Mokhane then called us and told us that the statement was now completed. We walked back into the magistrate's court and we escorted the suspect to the vehicles, my lord.
Siyafika ke uSergeant Mokhana sitshela ukuthi hayi statement sisithathiwe sasisingena ngaphakathi siyophelezela umsolwa simthatha ngaphakathi enkantolo zaseBoksburg.
Okay. So where did you travel from there?
Manje nasisenihamba niyaphi kusuka la?
From the vehicles, my lord, the suspect was in handcuffs. He was placed into the Fortuner of Sergeant Mokhane.
Kuya lapho emotweni ke umsolwa wayefakwe izankosi wayesethathwa ke eyiswa emotweni Fortuner wayesebekwa ezandleni enikezela ezandleni zika Sergeant Mokhane.
From Boksburg Magistrates Court, we conducted the escort straight to Moot SABC.
Nje kusuka lapho eBoksburg sabe sesibaphelezela sibayisa eMoot SABC.
All right. Let me just put this version of accused number 2 before we proceed.
Public litigants as the Constitution's principal agents.
Immediate accused number 2 will tell the court that inside during the after the alleged statement was, sorry, let me just put it this way. The version of the accused person is that he did not sign any document inside the office of Mrs. Cronje.
So lesibili uzothi yena azange asayinde lutho ngaphakathi kwehhovisi lika Mrs. Cronje.
I would not know, my lord.
Cha angeke ngaba nalolu lwazi.
You took the accused person to Jamestown.
Athi nathatha umsolwa namisa eJamestown.
No, my lord.
At Jamestown, you went to an industrial area. According to accused number 2, you went to an industrial area where you parked the motor vehicles. Accused was assaulted again.
Jamestown nahamba la kunama factory khona la enafika khona namisa imoto umsolwa eseyashawa futhi.
Then he was ordered to sign the documents.
Manje wayesecindezelwa ukuthi akasayine lawo document.
And the documents that he said he signed,
Minister is ultimately accountable for the full fulfillment
his
of
blood spilled on those documents.
Wathi ke ilapho kafika ukuthi umesayina lawo document kwase kuba negazi ke lakhe elawela kuwo la document.
My lord, from the magistrate's court up to Moot SABC, I did not see any injuries on the accused up to the completion of the escort, my lord.
Ukuthi isikhathi sonke la besiphelezela umsolwa ngizange ngibone ukushaya kamsolwa.
Okay. Now, during the course of this trial, within the trial, a pro forma completed by Mrs. Cronje, the magistrate, and the statement was shown to accused number 2, which he denied to be the statement, because the reason is that the documents that he was led to sign must have had some marks of blood stains.
Manje ke uthi ke lama document lawa alethwa phambi kwakhe uthi umsola waphi ukuthi ama document akhe ngesikhathi kwenza icala elingaphakathi kwecala, ngoba uthi yena lawo yena awabona ama document awasayindile kwakuphoqelekile ukuthi akube nanamachashaza egazi la ayiwele khona kulawo maphepha.
I would not know, my lord.
Ngeke ngibe nalolu lwazi.
Okay. So you say you transported him to Pretoria Mort.
That's correct.
Namphelezela namise emoto athi yebo.
Do you know what time was he booked?
Sasikhathi
Was he booked in?
ukuthi wafakwa nini?
Our arrival at Moot, my lord, was between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening, my lord.
Fika kwathi wethu umuntu kwakuphakathi ihora lesithupha nelesikhombisa kuseni.
Who booked him in?
Banomfaka lapho umbhalisa lapho.
Sergeant Mukhane, my lord.
Athi kwaba uSergeant Mukhane.
So that was the last time you saw accused number 2.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi kwaba ukugcina mbona umsola wesibili.
Until you saw him today.
That's correct, my lord.
Ngala futhi ukumbona futhi namhlanje.
Okay. So do you know that accused number 2 did not take bath since the 16th of June 2020? Do you know?
I don't know, my lord.
Athi yazi ukuthi umsola wesibili akaze ageze kusuka mhla 6 June 20. June 20?
2020.
Athi kusuka mhla 16 June 2020 umsola akaze ageze.
And he has never been in contact of his family.
Athi futhi akaze nje athintane nobumndeni wakhe.
I don't know that, my lord.
Athi anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
All right. So are you aware that accused number 2 was kept in custody from the day you booked him until 21st of March 2021?
Athi yazi ukuthi umsola wayevalelwe kusuka ukufika umhla ka1 kuMarch 2021.
From the day he was booked in at Pretoria Mort.
Kusukela evalelwe ePretoria Mort.
Do you know that?
Yakwazi lokho?
No, my lord.
Cha ngikwazi.
Let's get into the escort where you took the accused person from Vosloorus to Moroka police station.
Asikhulume ngokuniphelezela umsola kusuka eVosloorus umisa eMoroka.
My lord, the escort was only from Morocco to Vosloorus, not the other way around.
All right.
Cha kwakumphelezela kusuka eMoroka kuye eVosloorus hayi ukumsusa eVosloorus umisa eMoroka.
Thanks for the clarification.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi ungichazele.
All right. From Moroka police station, are you saying he was at that time after he was with Colonel Raphadu?
Uthi ke kusuka lapha eMoroka usho ukuthi kongemva ukuthi abe no nalipho isokuthiwa Raphadu.
Clarify, my lord.
I'm saying at that time when you escorting accused from Morocco, that was when he made a statement, the alleged statement from Colonel Raphadu.
athi ukusuka umphelezela usuka lapha eMorocco kwakula esethathe khona statement esithathiswe uRaphadu.
That's correct, my lord.
Bathi kunjalo.
So, were you present when there was a discussion between Sergeant Mokhane and Colonel Raphadu?
Okhona yini makunengxoxo phakathi kaMokhane, Sergeant Mokhane no Colonel Raphadu?
No, my lord.
No, I wasn't.
But it's your evidence that after the interrogation, after the taking of the confession, you escorted the accused to Sergeant Mokhane.
Manje uthi emva ukuthi avume icala umsolo wena wamphelezela ukuya ku Sergeant Mokhane.
Once the statement was completed, my lord, I received the suspect from Colonel Raphadu and I took the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane's vehicle.
Athi emva ukuthi starte statement ngamthatha umsolo. You took him from
the Colonel
who?
Raphadu
Ngamthatha umsolo ngamthatha Colonel Raphadu
to the vehicle parked outside.
Ngamisa ke emotweni ayipakwe ngaphandle.
All right. Do you know what time was it when you first took accused to Colonel Raphadu's office?
Manje uyazi ukuthi kwasikhatsini umuzothatha umsolo mise office likaRaphadu.
It was in the morning, my lord. As I mentioned, I was the first to arrive.
Kwakusekuseni njengoba besengishilo ke kwayimina wafika kuqala.
If you had your pocketbook, you would precisely tell the court what time you arrived. Do you agree?
That's correct, my lord.
But uma ukuthi kunayo ke pocketbook yakho uzokwazi ukusinika isikhathi esiqondile wathi yebo.
But was it after 9, after 11?
As I can recall, my lord, I arrived around 6:30, so it might have been at 7, my lord.
But njengoba besengichazile ke mina ngafika ngo6 lapha usho ukuthi ke isikhathi ke kwakuzoba kuyisikhathi zo7.
Yes. Now Colonel Raphadu is done with the suspect. They are now handing over the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane. Did they tell you where were they heading to?
Manje Sergeant Raphadu seqedile kusumisa ke ku Sergeant Mokhane. Wakutshela yini ukuthi baya?
My lord, the suspect was handed over to me, not Sergeant Mokhane.
Msola wanikezela kumina azange nikezele kuMokhane.
You handed over the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane.
That's correct.
But when wanikezela umsola ku Sergeant Mokhane wathi yebo kunjalo.
Were you told or asked to escort them to Boksburg police station, to Boksburg court?
Awulayeleliwe ke ukuthi ubaphelezele baye eBoksburg.
To Vosloorus court, my lord.
Yeah,
To Vosloorus.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
Vosloorus.
They told you the reason why you were to escort them to Vosloorus court.
Wachazela ukuthi yini sizathu awufaka ukhokhela ukuthi bayise eVosloorus?
It was mentioned that the accused had a court appearance in Vosloorus, my lord.
Kwavezwa ukuthi umsolo ake ufanele ayovela phambi kwesenkantolo yaseVosloorus.
For which case do you know?
I don't know, my lord.
But angazi ukuthi kuliphi icala.
All right. So upon your arrival at Vosloorus court, you remained behind. Where was the accused?
Manje uma nifika eVosloorus wena wasala wayelapha umsolo.
The accused was together with Sergeant Mokhane entering Vosloorus court, my lord.
Umsolo kwahamba noSergeant Mokhane bengena enkantolo yaseVosloorus.
We were outside at the vehicles.
Thina sasengaphandle sisemotweni.
Where was Sergeant Mapena?
Sergeant Mapena wayelapha.
I can't recall, my lord.
Angikwazi ukukhumbula lokho.
All right. So the accused person, in respect of that evidence, will deny that he ever entered for Slora's court.
So again, I uzophika ukuthi wakangena enkantolo yaseFosloras.
My lord, the accused did enter the court as part of completion of our escort. We saw him ourselves, my lord, entering the court.
Manje ukuphetha ukumphelezela umsolwa sabona ukuthi nange umsolwa uyangena ecourt yaseFosloras.
Was he received by the police officers to know?
Wamkelwa amaphoyisa yenu yazi?
We only saw him entering the court, my lord.
Bathi hayi cha sagcina singumbona engena enkantolo.
He never, according to you, he never entered, or according to the information you got from either Mabena or Mukhane, did he ever enter the holding cells of Slora's police station, police court, the holding cells? Did he enter those cells?
I don't know, my lord.
Bathi wambona yini wena ngolwazi lwathi owalithola kuMabena noMukhane wangena yini emaselini aseFosloras wathi cha angikwazi lo.
From what distance did you keep when Sergeant Mukhane entered the court, Slora's court, with the accused? From what distance did you keep?
Wena wakude kanganani ke uma Bena ezongena nomsolwa enkantolo yaseFosloras?
My lord, the entrance for the accused persons is at the back of the court, my lord, or on the side.
Manje la kungena khona abasolwa ingemumva kwenkantolo noma ngapha ngaseceleni.
So you're telling the court that you did not actually see, or you could not be in a position to see where Mukhane and the accused entered.
Manje uchaza ukuthi wena awukwazanga ukubona noma awuzange ubone uma uMukhane engena nomsolwa ngaphakathi.
I want to further elaborate, my lord, on that point.
Ukucacisa ngephambili kulolu phuzu.
Once you entered and where the accused persons are supposed to enter, it's a separate door, my lord, or a gate.
Manje masungenela la kungena khona abasolwa iminyango wehlukile noma kuyisangwane elihlukile.
Were you in a position to see them?
Yes, my lord.
But yebo ngakwazi ukubabona.
You can see from the parking area, my lord.
Athi la esesibaye khona awukwazi ukubona.
So is that part of escorting an accused person? When you left him with somebody and kept a distance away from him?
Manje lokho kuseyingxenye yokuphelezela umuntu mawukuthi ufika umnikezelo omunye umuntu bese uyabayeka bahambe bodwa.
My lord, he was not left. He was in our vicinity and visible to us at all times.
Andazange ahambe wayekhona ebonakala phambi kwethu simbona sonke isikhathi.
Yes, but my point is it's a different scenario than the escort at Boksburg Court, where the accused person, when he entered the room 2, you then went back to the motor vehicle.
Athi kehluka ke nase eBoksburg ngoba wathi mengena egumbini lesibili kwaba kuyimani kwaze ukusuka lapho.
In this case, sorry, may I just draw the distinction? In this case, you remain in the parking lot, you let Mukhane in with the suspect.
Manje kulesi sikhathi esikhuluma ngaso nina nasale parking namiyela uMukhane wahamba wayongena nomsolwa ngaphakathi.
Do you see the difference?
Yabona mehluko?
I see what you are saying, my lord. And to confirm that, my lord, as far as I know, my lord, every magistrate's court has a holding cell. And in order to access the holding cell, my lord, there is a separate entrance to the court.
Hayi ke kuchaza lokho yonke inkantolo zinale ndawo iseli la kubekwa khona abasolo bengakanye and futhi kusuka lapho ke yila bekwazi ke ukungena enkantolo khona.
Of course, that will also include Boksburg Court. It has a holding cell.
Nalesi Boksburg Court ikhona leyo holding cell.
That's correct, my lord.
Bathi njani?
So from where we were parked, we were in view of the entrance to the holding cells, my lord.
Bathi la esasikhona ke sasikwazi ukubona umnyango ukungena kuma holding cells.
Because it's a separate parking, my lord.
Ngoba la akuyona iparking enye parking nje ehlukile.
All right, let's move on. So Sergeant Mkhano went in with the suspect. They came back. At what stage did you escort them to the motor group?
Manje umkhana ke wangena nesuspect waseyabuya mina ke naba thathanini baphelezela ngemotweni.
My lord, as I mentioned, when we arrived at Foslorus Court, the suspect and Sergeant Mukhane entered the court, my lord.
Njengoba sengishilo uma sifika ecourt ke umsola noSergeant Mukhane bangena enkantolo.
And then from the court, my lord, is where we dispersed.
Manje kusuka enkantolo ila esahlukanayo.
Because our escort was completed at that point.
Ngoba ngaleso sikhathi ke baphelezela kwethu ke kwasekuphelile.
Was it not necessary for you to escort Mukhane and the suspect back to the police station where the accused was kept? Was it not necessary?
Kwangadingekile ukuthi niphinde niphelezele umsolo kusuka le enkantolo ukumisa le kule police station la eboshwe khona.
No, my lord, as our shift was already completed at that time.
Cha bengeke kwenzeke ngoba thina ke sasisiphumile emsebenzini sishayisile.
Okay. So the normal shift, if you are working day shift, from what time to what time?
Manje ishift yena ejwayelekile iqala ngasikhatsini iyophuma ngasikhatsini.
We work 8-hour shifts, my lord.
Sisebenza amahora ayisishiyagalombili.
I can't speculate, sir. From what time to which time?
Qala ngasikhatsini kuyofika ngasikhatsini.
For example, my lord, if we start 6 o'clock in the morning, our shift will end at 2 o'clock, my lord.
Ake ngibekise kanje uma siqale ngo6 sigcine siphume emsebenzini ngo2.
So according to your evidence, you reported, so is it clear that you reported at 6 when you took the suspect to Colonel Raphadu?
So manje ushuthi ungena
Morocco police station.
Ngo6 eMorocco police station la yothatha khona umsolo.
I reported on duty at 6, my lord. My arrival at Morocco, as I was the first to arrive, was around 6:30, my lord.
Wathi ngihambe ngayo ngena emsebenzini ngo6 wathi ufika wami eMorocco kwaku 6:30.
So all right, thanks. So all right, I understand the logic. You reported on duty at 6 o'clock, then you expected to knock off at 2 o'clock on that day.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay, ngalelela ngangena ngo6 ngangifanele ke ngishayise ngo2 ngalelela wathi yebo kunjalo.
So I just want to clarify or to get clarity in terms of when they entered, immediately when they entered, did you notice your time? When they entered Foslorus Court, did you check your time?
Mase bengena eFoslorus Court when I was base cut.
Yes, my lord, it was near 2 o'clock.
Wathi yebo kwaku seduze isikhathi sika 2 o'clock.
All right. So that means it makes sense when you say it was your knock-off time at 2 o'clock.
That's
but my concern is the next shift in terms of the escorting services was expected to start from 2 o'clock onwards.
Manje kusho ukuthi ke ababezo ngowanena nasenishayisile kusho ukuthi ababezongena emsebenzini bafanele baqale ngo-2 ukuya phambili.
That's only upon request, my lord.
Athi ke hayi lokho kwenzeka uma sicelile.
So I'm still, because it was very imperative for you to escort the suspect from Pretoria Mall up to all the relevant places where you took the suspects to.
Manje wawumsenzweni ukuthi phelezele umsolo akusuke ePretoria Mall kuzo zonke indawo la engicela ukuthi nimise khona.
Yes, my lord.
Kunjani?
The significance of this escorting should have been seen when you knocked off and the next shift proceeded to escort.
Manje umqoka lokumphelezela umsolo bebonakalile ngalesi sikhathi ke nina uzofika isikhathi sokuthi nishayise bese kungena abanye emsebenzini.
My lord, that is dependent on the investigating officers, my lord.
Hayi lokho ke kuphuma kumpheyi.
So it was not a prescribed procedure of escorting. This is just a procedure created by the investigating officer.
So shita kuyona ke indlela ebekiwe yokuthi ni umuntu nemphelezela kanjani. Kodwa okunje ile ndlela ayehlele ngayo umphenyi wecala.
My lord, the investigating officer was aware that it was approaching our knock-off time, and prior arrangements to that, the investigating officer should do, my lord.
Manje umphenyi ke wecala wayazi ukuthi sifanele sishayise okufanele kube khona kulungisana.
All right. After you have rendered your services up to 2 o'clock, did you bother to call the investigating officer that this is knock-off time and we are seizing our escort? Are there any necessary arrangements that you have made?
Manje ngalesi sikhathi masenibona ukuthi nizoshayisa nakhuluma yini nomphenyi wecala nimtshela ukuthi hayi seseduze isikhathi sethu sokuthi sishayise manje kusodingeka ukuthi kube khona uhlelo oluthize olulungisayo.
The investigating officer was aware of that, my lord.
Umphenyi wecala wayekwazi lokho.
But that has never been discussed with you. It's just an assumption that he knew about it.
Kusho ukuthi ke lokho ke akuzange kukhulume into nje nanicabange.
It was not discussed, my lord.
Akuzange kuxoxe.
When I took the instructions from accused 1 and 2, you are always in the picture. There's no other shift.
Ngithatha imlayelo yami kumsolo oqala nomsolo wesithupha. Wena kuyabonakala ukuthi nje uhlala unjalo ubonakala la.
It's you, Khadebe, Mapumul. You are always in the shift.
Wena ke no Khadebe no Mapumul kuyabonakala ukuthi hayi nihlanisa emsebenzini.
No one is replacing you.
Akekho oza azoniphumuza.
Do you know the reason why?
Yes, yini isizathu.
My lord, I can speculate that it might be a trust factor, my lord.
Ngicabangela ukuthi mhlambe kwenziwa ukuthi sasithembeki.
Yes. You are the most trusted person. Because when you ascended that box, accused number 2 called me.
Yebo wena uthenjwe kakhulu ngoba uthe ungena lapha ebhokisini umsolo wesibili wayengibiza.
And told me that when I see this man, I feel like crying the way he was beating me.
Othi hayi mangibona le ndoda lena ngizwa sengathi ngakhala ngendlela ayengishaya ngayo.
I'm traumatized.
Angisahlukumezekile.
What do you say about that?
Thini ngalokho?
I don't know the accused, my lord.
Ngimazi umsolo.
That's why if you don't know the accused, but Brigadier Gininda trusts you.
Kodwa noma ungamazi umsolo othi Brigadier Gininda ayokethemba.
My lord, the trust was built over a few occasions that we worked together.
Athi ke lokwethembana ke kwakheka ngezikhathi lapho ke esasisebenza naye esikhathini ezimbalwa.
My lord, can you adjourn for a short break?
Is it for the tea?
That's correct.
Okay. 15 minutes. Yes, Mr. Mgomezo.
Thank you, my lord. May I proceed? Sorry, my lord. Okay. Thank you. So we ended up at Phosphorus when you left. That means that's when you ceased your escort.
Siqinesi sefolklore lawa wahamba khona kusho ukuthi ke lawa wagcina khona ukuphelezela umsolo.
So you did not go to Villarreal,
No, my lord.
Villarreal, where he was. Sorry, to Pretoria. Mort.
So ushita uzangu ePretoria mwat.
On the 24th, my lord.
On the day you left Mohan and the suspect in Phosphorus court.
No,
Kuba
ma'am.
ngaleli langa washiya khona umukhale nomsolwa ePhosphorus court.
Sorry?
No, my lord.
Athi cha
You did not go there.
No, my lord.
cha ngizange ngiye la.
So, all right, I was told that you are a very trusted somebody. It's fine.
Ngizwile ke kuthiwa wethembekile hayi kulungile.
Let's get now into the condition as per the person who was escorting. The condition of accused number 2. In your own assessment, when you looked at him, was he a normal someone?
Njengoba ke kokuwena umphelezela ngicela ukubuza ke ngesimo sikamsolo sibili ukuthi nje wena kumbheka waye umuntu osesimene esejwayelekile.
Yes, my lord.
That is correct.
That's fair.
Sorry my lord. Kunjani?
So, do you remember during the process of escorting on all these days that we've mentioned, do you remember taking the suspect, accused number 1, to a medical practitioner?
Manje ngasonke isikhathi la ubuphelezela khona usakhumbula uhambisa umsolo oqala umyesa kwabezempilo.
No, my lord. As accused number 1, I only met him on the 5th of June in Alberton.
Hayi cha akaze kwenzeke ngoba umsola wesibili ngahlala naye ngomhla ka-5 kuJune eAlberton.
All right.
Is it accused number 1 or 2?
It's accused number. Sorry.
The counsel referred to accused number 1, my lord.
Oh, is that so?
Sorry, I beg your pardon, my lord. Accused number 2. I'm still dealing with accused number 2. I beg your pardon, my lord.
Ngicela ukulungisa lapho ngenze iphutha bengikhuluma ngomsolo wesibili.
So, medical attention for accused number 2. No, my lord.
Cha ngizange ngimyise kwabezempilo umsolo wesibili.
All right. Even before a confession was taken, you never came across any information that he was ever taken to a medical attention.
No, my lord.
Noma ka engakadlumi icala why anizange ngimyise kwabezempilo awuzange uzwe nje kuthintwa ukuthi wayiswa kwezempilo athi cha.
We'll get back to relevant questions. Let's get into accused number 1.
Ayesibuyele ke umsolo oqala.
Were you present when he was arrested?
Okhona yini ngesikhathi eboshwe?
No, my lord.
Athi cha.
If the accused person says you were present with a lot of Metropolis officers at Tembisa in Vusumuzi section. He will be telling the lies.
Manje umethi ke umsolwa ke wena ukhona namaphoyisa akwa Metro amaningi eThembisa endaweni ekuthiwa section ebizwa ngokuthi Vusumuzi uzobe qamba manga yini?
That's correct, my lord.
Uzobe kunjani?
Do you know when was he arrested? Which
Uyazi
day?
ukuthi waboshwa nini?
Which day?
No, my lord.
Cha ngilazi la ngaboshwa ngalo.
Accused will tell the court that he was arrested on the 30th of May 2020 in your presence.
Uzothi umsolwa waboshwa mhla 13 kuMay ngo2020 wena ukhona?
No, my lord, I was not there.
Cha ngangingekho.
All right. At what stage then you appeared to be escorting accused number 1?
Manje ke kwaqala
From the
nini
first time.
ukuphelezela umsolwa oqala okokuqala?
The first time, my lord, was on the 5th of June 2020 for the pointing out.
Wathi ke kwakuwumhla ka5 kuJune 2020 kuya kukhomba khomba.
Can you see now the relevance of a logbook?
Yabona ukuthi yini umsebenzi walogbook?
I do, my lord.
Wathi yebo ngiyawazi.
The court, let me just put it this way. It would be much easier for the court to be convinced that on this particular day and time, this is the event that took place, if that was recorded in writing.
Uzoba lula ukuthi inkantolo yazi ukuthi ngela ngathi zokwenzekana uma ubeyiqoshwe phansi kubhaliwe.
I agree, my lord.
Ngiyavumelana nalokho.
Because at this stage we've got conflicting versions. Your testimony versus the version of accused number 1.
Manje ngoba yabonakala ukuthi sekukhona izinto ezehlukile ufakazi bakho naloko kusho umsolo oqala.
Nonetheless, let's proceed. You said on the 30th when he was arrested, you were not present.
That's correct, my lord.
Uthe wena wawungekho ngesikhathi eboshwa athi yebo.
All right. According to your knowledge, because I can see you've been interacting with Brigadier Gininda, Mohane, and Mabena, and the likes. Do you know if accused number 1 was arrested with a warrant?
Uyazi ke wena mhlawumbe ukuthi umsolo oqala waboshwa kune warrant.
I do not know, my lord.
Cha ngikwazi lo.
But that could have came into your attention. I'm not pushing you to answer that, but that could have came into your attention as a police officer.
Kambe lokho bengingafika endlebeni zakho njengephoyisa.
It's possible, my lord.
Athi ngenzeka.
The relevance of escorting. Accused number 1, like you have testified about accused number 2. When accused number 1 was arrested by the Metropolis officer, Mabena, Mohane, and others, he was found at Tembisa in Vusumuzi section in company of his 2 friends.
Sola ke uqala mesezoboshwa uMabena noMkhane watholakala esendaweni eseThembisa nabangani bakhe ababili endaweni ekuthiwa seVusumuzi.
He was in company, they were actually standing in a particular yard, not in a place where accused number 1 is residing.
Wathi ke babeme endaweni ethize eshethe egcikeni elithize hayi la ehlala khona.
Then they were approached by Metropolis officers
Bese kufika amaphoyisa asemetro
who ordered them to lie down.
abafike ke batshela ukuthi balale phansi.
And they were asked or accused number 1 was asked his name by the Metro Police officers, and you were present.
Nje umsola wokuqala ke wabuzwa igama lakhe ebuzwa amaphoyisa amesemetro futhi nawe awukhona.
I was not present, my lord.
Ngingekho.
Yes. Gave them his full names, and they asked him where was he coming from, originally from. He said from Mahlabatini.
Bambuza igama lakhe basebembuza ukuthi uvela apha sethi hayi mina ngiphuma le kwa eMahlabathini.
I do not know, my lord. Oh, continue.
He was handcuffed from behind, and he was lifted up with the handcuffs. And they told him that he was under arrest. He also denied it.
Yes, my lord, I was not present.
Then he was asked as to where does he reside. He showed them the place, and they asked him as to who does he stay with. He said he stays with his uncle. They then took him to the place where he resides. All these officers, including you, and the uncle was not found. He was then, they kicked the door, they opened the door by kicking it, and he was told to change his clothing because. Do you know that?
No, my lord.
They then took him to a motor vehicle, the cars that we were traveling with. Then he was taken to another place called Tabong. It's a municipality area. Around that place, that's where the issue of assault commenced. He was beaten, he was choked with a plastic bag, and asked to tell the truth about the death of Senzo Meyiwa.
Ovala nobuso ikhanda balifaka into ethize ukumshopha andila qala khona ke ukuthi uphoqelela ukuthi akhulume iqiniso mayelana nokushona kukaSenzo Meyiwa.
My instruction is that he was asked as to who was with at the time Senzo was killed.
Manje wabuzwa ngaleso sikhathi uthi wayenobani ngalesi sikhathi uSenzo bulama.
He denied that. He said no, he has no knowledge even now. He denied his involvement in the death of Senzo Meyiwa.
Waphika ngaleso sikhathi wathi akanalwazi namanje usaqhubeka uyaphika ukuthi akanalwazi lokuthi wabulawa ubani uSenzo Meyiwa.
Do you know anything about that?
Khona ulwazi ngalo?
No, my lord.
Cha angazi lutho.
Thereafter, he was transported to Vosloorus.
Wakwaloko ke wasethwala ke iswa eVosloorus.
To the same area, I mean municipality area.
Finisela khona lapha endaweni yekamasipala.
Where you, in a plural, insisted that you should tell the truth.
Lapho ke nina enafika khona nachizelela ukuthi akakhulumi iqiniso.
But he vehemently denied the allegations.
Manje
or any
kodwa-
knowledge thereof.
Kodwa ke waphika ke lokho ayebuzwa ngakho.
Do you have any knowledge of?
Khona ulwazi
No,
lolo
my lord.
cha ngazi lutho.
After that assault in Vosloorus, after that incident, he was then taken to Soweto.
Emva kwaleso sigameko wasethathwa ke eyiswa eSoweto.
Were you also present?
Wawukhona lapho nawe?
No, my lord.
Cha angekho.
In Diepkloof police station. He did not know that he was at Diepkloof police station until he arrived there, until he was told that he was at.
Wayengazi ukuthi ulethwe esikhumulweni samapholisa saseDiepkloof uyofika ke esetshela ukuthi eseboshiwe ukuthi usesikhumulweni samapholisa saseDiepkloof.
No, my lord, I was never at Diepkloof police station.
Cha ngikaze ngibe sesikhumulweni samapholisa saseDiepkloof.
According to the description of the office that he was held in, it had no roof on top, but the sort of a fence is safe, like.
Uthi ke umeyichaza ke le ndawo uthi yayingenalo uphahla kodwa ke kwakukhona into enjengocingo olulapha ngaphezulu.
That he was further assaulted in that.
Wathi ke kuleyo ndawo nakhona kwaqhubeka ukuthi ashaye.
Where
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Cha nginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
then, when Colonel Mboto entered, the assault stopped.
Wathi uma sengena lapho Colonel Mboto
The assault stopped.
kwase kuyama ke ukuthi ashaye.
Then Colonel Mboto showed the accused the documents that was ordered to sign.
Manje uKolonel Mboto wasemkhombisa ke umsolwa amaphepha la efanele ke awasayini.
Otherwise, if it does not do that, they'll carry on with the assault.
Manje kuma ngakwenzi ke lo umcala wona bakuyoqhutsheka ngokuthi ashaye.
I was not at Diepkloof, my lord.
Cha ngangekho eDiepkloof.
Immediately after that, accused number 1 was forced to sign those documents.
Emva kwaloko umsolo oqala wasephoqelelwa ukusayinda lamaphepha.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Cha anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
Thereafter, he was taken to Villere police station.
Taken to
Villere police station.
manje wasesuswa ke ngaleso sikhathi kwayiswa esikhumulweni samaphoyisa saseValeria.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
All right, he was booked in. I'll give you the exact time and the days in which he was booked in and out.
Ngizotshela ukuthi wafaka nini wasekhishwa nini la.
May I approach a case number?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. the 5th of June 2020,
Umhla 5 kuJune 2020
accused number 1 was booked out from Valeria Police Station
solakhishwa eValeria Police Station
to Vosloorus,
eyiswa ke endaweni yaseVosloorus.
and he was also, that's why he was beaten again.
Futhi ke washaywa.
You were present,
So ukhona.
and it's your evidence that you first saw him on the 5th of June.
And futhi ke nawe ubufakazi bakho ukuthi waqala umbona ngomhla ka5 kuJune.
I was present on the 5th of June, my lord, at Alberton Police Station.
Angekhona ngomhla ka5 kuJune kodwa ngayisesikhumulweni samaphoyisa sase-Alberton.
So in other words, you were not present at the time he was booked out from Valeria Police Station.
Ngamanye amagama kusho ukuthi ungekho ngesikhathi ezokhishwa ke eValeria Police Station.
That's correct, my lord. We met Sergeant Mohane at Alberton SABC.
Kunjalo ngasahlangana noSergeant Mohane esesikhumulweni samaphoyisa sase-Alberton.
All right. So my question is, if you were not present, there was no need for an escort from Valeria to Alberton as per your evidence.
Manje usho ukuthi uma wawungekho ke kusho ukuthi wangadingeki ukuthi aphelezele usuke eValeria ese-Alberton njengokubeka kwakho.
There was a need, my lord.
Cha sasikhona isidingo.
Why was he not escorted?
Yini indawo ke engaphelezelwanga?
I'm sure he was escorted, my lord.
Nginesiqiniseko sokuthi waphelezelwa.
All right. By who?
Phelezelwa bani?
I'm sure. By who? Do you know?
Njengoba uthi unesiqiniseko usho ukuthi wayephelezelwa bani?
I don't know who escorted the suspect on the day, my lord, but there are also other police members that could have conducted it, my lord.
Angazi ukuthi ubani owamphelezelana lelo langa kodwa ngiyazi ukuthi khona amanye amaphoyisa bengakwazi ukuthi angakwenza lokho.
Okay. So those police could also be trusted by Brigadier Beninda like yourself.
Usho ukuthi la maphoyisa naye thenjwa uBrigadier Beninda njengoba ethemba wena.
That would be on the brigadier's discretion, my lord.
Hayi ke lokho kungale ndlela abona ngayo uBrigadier.
Okay. My version is that, the accused version is that on the 5th, when he was taken to Vosloorus, after having been assaulted, he was then taken to Vosloorus, to Alberton Police Station.
Manje umsona indlela echaza ngayo ukuthi ngomhla 5 engakayiswa eVosloorus yila ashaya khona. No, sorry, can you please repeat this? I
Yes.
seem to be missing something.
Yeah. From Valeria to Vosloorus on the 5th of June 2020.
Suke eValeria uke eVosloorus ngomhla June 2020.
Assaulted at Vosloorus,
Washawa eVosloorus.
taken to Alberton Police Station,
Wayeseyiswa ke eAlberton Police Station.
kept in the cells.
Wasegcinwa emaselini.
That's where you featured Mr. Jonathan
Ilawo wavela khona.
On
at the
our,
police station in Alberton, as per your evidence.
Njengoba usushilo kwabonakala esikhumulweni samaphoyisa se-Alberton.
yes, my lord. On our arrival at the police station, we met with Sergeant Mohane.
Yebo ke mase sifika lapho epolice station sahlangana noSergeant Mohane.
We were standing outside of the CSC,
Sase ngaphandle ke kwe-CNC.
and he mentioned that the suspect is inside the holding cell, my lord.
Wabe sephawula ukuthi umsolo ungaphakathi emaselini.
So you did not see the suspect inside the cells?
Usho ukuthi nginanzani bambona umsolo engaphakathi emaselini.
No, my lord.
Cha sange sikubona.
How did you ascertain yourself who the person to be escorted if you did not bother to know the person to be escorted?
Manje nina nazi kanjani ukuthi ubani lo fanele aphelezelwe uma ningazange nizihluphe ngokuzama ukufuna ukwazi ukuthi ubani lo ayezophelezelwa.
My lord, the details associating to the suspect was not disclosed to us, as we were only required to conduct the escort.
Manje ke kuyimininingwane ukuthi ubani lo ezophelezela izange sitshelwe yona ngoba thina nje okwethu nje kwakuyophelezela okuthiwa aphelezela.
There's evidence that is recorded before this court by Colonel Solomon that upon his arrival, you were inside the CSC, which is next to the cells where accused number 1 was kept.
Joke umakhulunye ufazi obletho uHadebe lana buthi nina nabana nise duze kwema cells la ebekwe khona umsolo.
And it is per his evidence that you were in a better position to see, or you were in a better, accused number 1 was in a position to see the presence of the metropolis because it was a small office.
Joke hayi umsolo ekwazi ukubona ukuthi kwakhona amaphoyisa asemetro ngoba kuyihhovisi elincane.
My lord, that statement I can deny. Reason being, the CSC is so small, my lord. There is no space for us to stand inside.
Athi hayi ngikuphika lo ngoba isese incane kakhulu ayikho indawo ukuthi singama khona.
That means the court must reject the evidence of Colonel Solomon.
Uthe manje inkonzo lifanele ichithe ubufakazi kaKhenel Solomon.
As a court, please, my lord, we still have to check our note, but we don't remember.
Yeah, this witness was not implicated by Solomon.
The waiting inside the client service.
I'm saying, as I recall the evidence,
Yes, ma'am.
Sergeant Mohammed never pertinently said this witness was there.
Now, he never said that, ma'am.
No, he talks generically of metropolis.
That's correct.
That's it.
That's correct.
Unless you put it to him that he was also there, fine.
Yes. To rephrase that question, the metropolis officers that were present at the SC in Alberti, were you also present?
Manje sube indlela amaphoyisa metro ekhona lapha eSC eAlberton. Wena ke okhona la?
Outside of the CSC, I can say yes, my lord.
Masikhuluma ukuthi ngaphandle weCSC ngingathi yebo.
All right. Were there any officers which were inside and others remained outside the CSC on that day, at that time?
Manje wonke lamaphoyisa nawo ngaphandle ngaso sonke isikhathi lapha eCSC.
From EMPD, my lord, we were only 4 officers standing outside.
Manje waphuma kweMPD sasamaphoyisa amane ayeme ngaphandle.
All right. But accused number 1 eventually saw your presence when he was in custody.
So lokuqala ke eboshiwe wakwazi ukunibona ukuthi nikhona.
Do you agree?
Uvumelana nami?
If he came outside, yes, my lord.
Mawukuthi waphumela ngaphandle yebo.
Yes. He had the knowledge that there are metropolis outside before the pointing out took place.
Before?
The alleged pointing out.
Ungawenzi ke le khomba umsolo wazi ukuthi khona amaphoyisa aseMPD ngaphandle.
My lord, you said he has the knowledge.
That's what I'm saying.
EMPD is outside. I can't answer for him.
And njengokuthi ke wayenalo ulwazi cha angikwazi kumphendulela.
My instruction is that you were present with those metropolis officers.
Njengomyalelo wami uthi nani wawukhona nalamaphoyisa.
I confirm, my lord, I was outside the CSC.
Cha yebo ngiyafuna lethu isiqiniseko sokuthi ngangingaphandle kweCSC.
You then traveled after photos were taken from accused number 1. You traveled in your own motor vehicle. You followed the motor vehicle of Colonel Solomon.
Athemba ukuthi uthathe izithombe ke zamsola nabe seniyahamba nina ngemoto yenu nilandela imoto kaHadebe.
That's correct.
As a, you must correct me if I'm wrong. As an escort, you must always be vigilant. You must always be vigilant and keeps a close proximity to safeguard the movement of Colonel Hadebe with the suspect.
Manje-ke kushuthi njengoba nani lapho niphelezela kwakufanele ukuthi niqaphele futhi nijeqeze ukwenzela ukuthi-ke nihlale niyibona imoto kaHadebe futhi nibe seduze kwayo.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
Upon arrival at a particular place, you were also present when Colonel Hadebe, the suspect, the photographer, alighted from the motor vehicle.
Futhi-ke emva kwesikhathi endaweni ethize la afike wehla khona emotweni uKolonel Hadebe nomsolwa nelona othwebulayo kusho ukuthi nawe wawukhona.
We were in the same vicinity, yes, my lord.
Sendaweni eyodwa.
So were you in a better position to see what was carrying on?
Manje kusho ukuthi wawusethubeni elihle lokubona ukuthi kwenzekani.
We were in sight of the colonel, my lord.
You were?
We were in sight. I could see the colonel.
Ngaphakathi sasikwazi ukumbona uKolonel.
Now I'm referring to that particular place where at Phosphorus.
Ngisho kuleyo ndawo yasePhosphorus.
As you were traveling, you finally reached the destination. Then they alighted from the motor vehicle. You also alighted from your own motor vehicle.
Noma senifikile endaweni bathi mabephuma emotweni nawe wehle emotweni.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi kunjalo.
Then the question is, from where you positioned yourself, you were in a better position to see Colonel Hadebe, the suspect, and the photographer.
Athi la owawukhona ukwazi ukubona uKolonel Hadebe nomsolwa nomthwebuki.
Yes, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
So in the same position that they were, I'm not sure whether they saw you, but the same proximity or vicinity where whatever that happened on the day, were they in a position to see your presence or were they in a position to see your presence?
Manje-ke bona kuleyo ndawo ke othi naniseduze wawukwazi ukubona babekwazi ukubona ukuthi wena ukhona.
I would say yes, my lord. And if the colonel was unable to see us, he would know that we are in the vicinity.
Yebo ngizothi yebo kodwa kumakhanani mengasiboni wayezokwazi ukuthi sikhona lapha endaweni.
All right. I'll just try to wrap up my cross-examination, but there's one thing that I just want to know from you.
Kona sengifuna ukugoqa ke imibuzo yami kodwa khona ngisafuna ukwazi kwena.
A person is kept at a... I'm just asking this question. You tell me if you can answer it. You are not an expert on that particular field.
Ngiyabuza nje lo mbuzo ngifuna ungiphendula kodwa ke angisho ukuthi ucepheshe ke walokho.
Don't you find it prudent that a person who is kept in a police station under police guard from the day of arrest wants to make a confession? I'm just putting to you. I want you either a common sense or he's kept there practically at Valeria. That person wants to make a confession.
Please, my lord, the witness is being asked for an opinion which is irrelevant. we submit, my lord, that the question should not be allowed as it's opinion evidence which is irrelevant.
Eliciting opinion evidence, sir?
Not on the basis
Because
of an
you are actually saying this witness is not an expert.
Yes, it's common sense sort of, not an expert per se, my lord.
So what should
Like the need for an escort if somebody is kept at a place, at a particular place, and he wants to make a confession. Is there any need to take that person and transport the person to a particular place?
No, but those are not the facts. The facts are this witness says he escorted your client for a pointing out. Please, don't conflate a pointing out with a confession.
That was just a general question. Let me withdraw it.
Yeah.
Yes. That concludes my question.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Nisi.
As it is the court, my lord, with due respect, I don't have questions to the witness.
Due respect to who? Me?
I'm referring to the court, my lord.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Nisi, no cross-examination. Mr. Ngumano?
This is the court. My lord, I have no cross-examination.
No cross-examination, Mrs. For accused number 5, eh? Ms. Misholo.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Can I start, my lord?
Hello?
Can I start, my lord?
I'm waiting for you.
Thank you. Mr. Jonathan, is Jonathan your name or surname? What's your name?
Surname, my lord. My name is Wendell Logan.
Oh, okay.
Athi Jonathan isibongo sakho cha igama lami nguWendell.
Logan second.
Igama lesibili nguLogan.
Mr. Logan, Jonathan, I'm going to start with your participation or involvement on the 19th of June when you escorted the SAPS members and took accused number 2 to Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu. You remember that involvement?
I do, my lord.
Iqala mhla 19 kuJune lapho ke ophelezela amaphoyisa SABC lapho waphelezela khona ukuthi baye ku
Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu.
Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu.
Yes. Okay. When were you requested to give escort duties to the SAPS members?
Wacela nini ke ukuthi ube semsebenzini ophelezela amaphoyisa SAPS?
We are normally informed the day before, my lord.
Sijayeleke ukutshelwa osukwini olwandulela lo msebenzi.
Okay, let us not generalize now. We're talking about this, the 19th of June 2020. When were you requested?
A day before, my lord.
Wathi umhla ka 19 kuJune ngatshelwa ke elandulela umhla ka 19.
At what time?
Ngasiphi isikhathi?
When the request was made that the Metro Police should accompany the SAPS members on the following day.
Safika nini ke isicelo safika ngasikhatsini isicelo sokuthi nihambe niyophelezela amaphoyisa SAPS.
In the afternoon, my lord.
Yafika ntambama.
Yes, at what time?
Ngasikhatsini.
I can't recall the exact time.
Cha anke isikhumbula isikhathi siqondile.
Okay, who requested you?
Ubani wanicela?
Sergeant Mukhane called, my lord.
Umsajeni Mkhane uyena owasithinda.
Okay. Did he call you or did he call your supervisor or the head of the Metro Police?
Bathi wafonela wena noma wafonela umkhuzi wenu noma wafonela ophethe imetropolis?
Our immediate supervisor was informed, my lord.
So cha umkhuzi wethu okhuza thina uyena watshela.
Okay, what's the name of that immediate supervisor? who
Manje
was
lo mkhuzi wenu
requested?
kubani igama lakhe?
Say again, my lord. Your question, just say it again.
What was the name of the supervisor who was requested?
Superintendent Vishan Singh, my lord.
What?
Superintendent Vishan Singh.
Wathi ke umkhuzi wethu ke igama lakhe Superintendent Vivian Cronje.
It's my immediate supervisor.
Uyena ke umkhuzi wami ongaphezulu kwami.
He was your immediate supervisor on the 19th of June, am I correct?
Yena ke oluphethe ngomhla 19 kuJune. Akunjalo?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
Where is he right now?
Manje.
As I mentioned, my lord, we were all redeployed. He is currently at the equestrian unit.
Cha njengoba sengichazile ke sani kweminye imisebenzi okwamanje sengathi yena usebenza kule unit ebizwa ngokuthi equestrian unit.
Okay, but he's still under Metropolis.
Manje usengaphansi kwemetropolis.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjalo.
Okay. What was the car registration number of the car that you used on the following day now?
Manje ke inombolo zemoto oyisebenzisa ngalamalanga engizowathula zazithini?
Maybe to rephrase, on the following day, the car registration number of the car that you used on the 19th of June when you executed the escort duties.
Manje yipi inombolo zemoto oyisebenzisa mhla 19 isikhathi ke isemsenzini okuphelezela?
Should I mention the registration, my lord?
Yes.
It's BZ
Inombolo yakho na kwa PZ
35
35
MCGP.
NCGP.
It's registered under Metropolis cars, vehicles.
That's correct, my
Usho
lord.
lemoto lena ingaphansi kwesiphoyisa wathi yebo.
Yes. The logbook, can we get the logbook for that car?
Ile book yaleyo moto ungakwazi uyithola?
Yes, I can, my lord.
Yebo ngayithola.
Where can we get it? In which
Ungayithola?
office? If you know.
We can arrange from Superintendent Vishan Singh, my lord.
Singahlela no Superintendent Vivian Cronje.
Okay. Do you have the number for Superintendent Vivian Singh?
Na inombolo ka Superintendent Vivian Cronje?
Yes, I do, my lord.
Yebo nginayo.
Okay. We will also be able to locate the VL of that motor vehicle that you used on the 19th of June.
Ibhili le moto esetshenziswa mhla 19 kuJune nayo ingatholakala?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
Okay. Was there a written authority permission for you to go and provide services to the SAPS on the 19th of June?
Khona ke imvume ebhalwe phansi ukuthi ngomhla ka-19 kuJune nanifanele niyosiza ngokuphelezela.
My lord, Brigadier Ganinda would email our immediate supervisor requesting our services.
Manje uBrigadier Ganinda wangathumela ke i-email kumkhozi wethu mayelana nalo msebenzi.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking if there was a written authority permission that you go and escort the SAPS on the 19th of June.
No, cha ekubuzayo ukuthi nani iphethe yini imvume ebhalwe phansi ukuthi ningaya niyophelezela lo msolo ngalelo.
No, my lord.
Cha.
And the reason why?
Khona isizathu
Reason being that we receive instruction from the supervisor, my lord.
but ukuthi ke nje thina sathola imiyalelo evela kumkhuzi wethu.
So the reason why there was no written authority authorizing you to go and execute these duties, it's because you were given the authority verbal. Am I correct?
Manje okuchazayo ukuthi ke imbangela ukuthi ningabi nephela kuchazayo ukuthi niyokwenza lo msebenzi ukuthi ke nani itshelwe ngumlomo anginjalo.
Yes, my lord, I would say telephonically, as the supervisor then requested us or informed us that we will be conducting an escort the next day.
Cha ngasho ukuthi ke kwaleko kwangena ngocingo lapho ke umkhuzi wethu asitshela ukuthi fanele sokwenza lo msobo wobulili ngelanga elilandelayo.
Okay. Is there any other time wherein you will be requested by SAPS to provide services other than the cases that were investigated by Brigadier Gininda?
Manje sikhona yini isikhathi la ngicela khona ukuthi niyowenza umsebenzi ngicela abe-SAPS ngaphandle kwalesi sikhathi ngitshela uGininda.
Only upon request, my lord.
Athi ya masiceliwe.
Yeah.
If our supervisor hasn't received an email or is not informed about an escort, we would not conduct it, my lord.
Kama ukuthi umkhuzi wethu akazange athole isicelo sasingeke sikwazi ukuyowenza lo msebenzi.
Now let's come to the time when the accused was handed to you. Was that your evidence? Accused number 2 was handed to you on the 19th of June in the early hours.
That's correct.
Ekseni ke umsolwa wesibili wanikezelwa kunina akunjalo wathi yebo.
With the permission that was granted to you to go and escort the SAPS, your main duties was to escort, am I correct?
So kule mvume enanikwe yona ukuthi nihambe niyophelezela umsolwa kusho ukuthi kumsebenzi wenu ngalula ngokuphelezela ngithi.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjalo.
And the handing over of an accused person from one SAPS member to another SAPS member was not part and parcel of your duties.
Kusho kunikezela kokamsolwa esuka komunye osesiphoyiseni eya komunye osesiphoyiseni kwangewona umsebenzi wenu akunjalo.
It is part of my duties, my lord, as we are not just limited to escorting.
Ka lokho okunye komsebenzi yethu ngoba phela asivalele ukuthena umsebenzi siwenzayo nje ukupheleza.
Okay, what other duties were you authorized to do other than the escort? Because I missed that one in your examination in chief.
Cha ngidinga ukuthi ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi yini enye enani gunyezo ukuthi ningayenza ngaphandle ke nje ukuphelezela.
My lord, we are required to safeguard the suspect and the investigating officers.
Manje sifanele sivikele umsolwa nomphenyi.
Me handing over the suspect was merely the fact that my assistance was required from Sergeant Muhammad.
So mina ukuthi ngiyezele ngumsolwa ukuthi usizo lami ledingeka lidinga Sergeant Muhammad.
He could have asked any other police officer, my lord.
Wayengacela nanoma iliphi iphoyisa.
I put it to you that that was not part of your duties as escort services to hand over, to receive and hand over the accused to another SAPS member.
Ngifuna ukubeka wena ukuthi akungena umsebenzi wakho ukuthi uwamukele futhi ke udlulise umsolo omdlulisayo kwelinye iphoyisa.
Okay, let's continue. Let's move on. And then you said you receive accused number 2. At what time was that when you received accused?
Wena ke wamukela umsolo wesibili ngasiphi isikhathi?
The exact time, my lord, I can't recall.
Can't recall.
But the confession or statement took around about approximately 3 hours, my lord.
Cha angikwazi ukubeka isikhathi esiqondile kodwa ke ukuthi ke amukele icala kubhale isitatimende esihambelana naloko kwathatha amahora amathathu.
Okay. And where were you when accused number 2 was handed to you?
Olaphi ke wena umsolo wesibili menikezelwa kwena?
Before handing him over, my lord, or after I received him?
Engakanikezelwa kumina noma sengimamukele.
When you received accused number 2.
Uma wena wamukela umsolo wesibili.
I was at the vehicles outside, my lord.
Ngangisezimotweni ngaphandle.
Okay. So, is it your evidence that when you received the accused, he was not kept in any of the police cells?
Usho ukuthi wena umuzomkwamukela umsolo engagcinwanga kwamanye amasela.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjani?
And you don't know at what stage they've arrived there at Morocco police station?
So awazi ke nokuthi bafika nini lapha eMoroka police station?
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjani?
And you have no record as to when did you receive accused number 2 at Moroka police station?
Uthi kawazeke nokuthi kubhalwe awukho la kubhalwe khona yini ukuthi wamamkela nini umsola eMoroka police station?
I have no record, my lord, but I did mention that our shift started 6 o'clock in the morning and I arrived around 6:30 at Moroka SABC.
Kanjalo sengishilo ukuthi angikho khokho la engathi ngibhale phansi khona kodwa ke bese ngishilo ukuthi thina uqala ukuthi ungena umsebenzi ungena ngo6 ngafika ngo6 eMoroka.
And there is no occurrence book from which you signed for the suspect that you received from Sergeant Mohan, is that correct?
So akho occurrence book la ubhala kuyona ukuthi wamkela umsola umthatha Sergeant Mohan kunjalo?
Occurrence by OB, I mean occurrence book of a police station.
Uma ngithi OB ngikhuluma nge-occurrence book yase-police station la kubhala khona ukuthi kwenzekani.
I'm sure there was one inside the CSC, my lord.
Kanguthi eyikhona engaphakathi CSC.
But you as a person who received the accused from Sergeant Mohane, you never signed any occurrence book.
Wena nje umuntu wamkela umuntu Sergeant Mohane usho akukho la wabhala khona ukuthi sengiyamamkela manje.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjani?
Okay. There's also no entry that you signed referring to the time when you took back the suspect from Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu.
So manje ukho la ubhala khona ukuthi wapi namkela umsola uthatha ku Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu.
My lord, I did sign for the suspect when I received him.
Yebo ngamsayindela umsola manje ngizomamkela.
Where?
I can't recall was it in the occurrence book, but I did sign, my lord.
Angikhumbule ukuthi mhlambe wabhala ku-occurrence book kodwa ngasayini.
The reason you can't recall is because you never signed any occurrence book.
Into enza ekhona ukuthi awukhumbuli ngoba awuzange umsayindele ku-occurrence book.
I did sign, my lord.
If you had signed, the state was going to refresh your memory with that occurrence book wherein you have signed when you received the accused.
Ukuba wasayineke hayi umshushisi wayokhombisa ukuthi ayokhumbuza futhi ukuthi wasayina lapha ekukhombisa khona kuleyo ncwadi.
As a police matter, we did indicate to the defense that we're still awaiting the occurrence books from Moroka. I think it's an unfair question to the witness if we haven't received those books. We did receive something, but it's not what we wanted. So they're still trying to trace that occurrence book.
Yes.
My lord, if that is the case, then there is a problem. I find it very difficult of putting questions to this witness when the defense has not been provided with that occurrence, my lord. It was requested to the state, my lord, the occurrence book. You'll recall, my lord, on Friday I led the entries from the Pretoria North up to 4:50 when accused number 2 was booked out. And we were under the impression that we will receive the occurrence book for the next police station, which has transpired now that it was Moroka police station.
Yeah, but Mr. Baloyi says that the state has not been finished with that occurrence book.
As the court pleases, my lord. If that is the case, my lord, I will skip those questions and I will beg leave to recall the witness as soon as we receive the occurrence book for the Moroka
Okay, fine,
police
no
station.
problem.
Okay, let's move on. You said, do you recall when did you book accused number 2 back after receiving him from Colonel Raphadu?
Wawube ezombhalisa yini umsolwa umuso buyisa so Colonel Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu?
After receiving the accused, my lord, we went to the vehicles outside.
Ngemva kokuthola ke umsolwa ukwamukela umsolwa wesahamba sayizimotweni ngaphandle.
Yeah, after receiving accused number 2 from Colonel Raphadu, what did you do with accused number 2?
We went to the vehicles, my lord.
Manje emva kokuthi uthole umsolwa umthatha Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu kwanasa nenza nothi saye emotweni.
So he was not booked back into any police cells?
So akazange afakwe emaseleni amaphoyisa?
No, my lord.
Cha.
At the time when Colonel Raphadu was busy with accused number 2 as per exhibit HH. Where were you?
Manje umsola umise busy no Colonel Raphadu njengoba kubonakala ku exhibition HH wawulapho.
I was outside, my lord.
Ngingaphandle.
And at that time, when you took accused number 2 to Colonel Raphadu, he was handcuffed. Am I correct?
Ngesikhathi kuyisa umsola ku Colonel Raphadu wayefakwe osankosi anjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
So why was it necessary for you to remain at that place where the so-called statement was taken if he was handcuffed?
Manje uma uthi wayefakwe osankosi yini ke imbangela ukuthi wena ube khona uhlale lapha ngaphandle kwaleyo ndawo sasithathelwa khona?
To conduct the escort, my lord.
Ukuze sikwazi ukumpheleza.
I waited.
What type of the escort? What type of the escort and safeguard that you were giving? If a person is handcuffed, his movement was limited. Am I correct?
Phela umuntu kumafaka osankosi akakwazi ukunyaza endlela athandayo kunjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
And it was at the police station.
Kwasesikhulumeni samaphoyisa kunjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
And at the police station there were other SAPS members.
Lapho ke ayakhona amanye amaphoyisa kunjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjalo.
Yes, that's why I'm asking, why was it necessary for you to remain there?
Mina ke ngibuza ukuthi yini ke isizathu sokuthi okuphoqelela ukuthi ube uhlale ukhona la?
My lord, we were instructed to conduct the escort. So the suspect went inside to Colonel Raphadu to do a statement. I had to wait for him to complete the statement, my lord.
Ya thina sesifanele phela ukuthi sivikele umsolo engaphakathi ethatha statement. Sasifanele ukuthi simlinde azaqede.
You know what? I put it to you that the reason why you remained there, you were for a specific purpose to induce fear to the accused number 2, my lord, and to make sure that he complies with the instruction of the police officers that he was told to do.
Ngizokutshela ukuthi isizathu kwakuyini. Kwawukuthi wena lapho ufanele wesabise umsolwa futhi ke wenze ukuthi aphoqelele ukuthi enze lento akwakuthiwa ufanele ayenze.
My lord, after handing over the suspect, Colonel Raphadu requested me to leave his office.
Emva ukuthi ke nginikezele ngomsolwa uKolonel Raphadu wangicela ukuthi angiphume e-office lakhe.
When I left his office, my lord, I went outside to the vehicles. I'm waiting for the instruction or completion of the statement, my lord.
Confession.
You said it was at what time when the statement was who told you it was a confession? How do you know it was a confession?
I mentioned statement or confession, my lord.
Statement and now my confession.
How did you know that the accused was the purpose of accused to go to Colonel Raphadu was to make a statement? Because you were giving a backup.
Statement.
From Sergeant Mukhane, my lord.
Then you said at what stage was the statement completed?
Come again?
You said at what time was the statement completed? At Morocco.
It took approximately 3 hours, my lord. So what time was that? You can't recall. Just before 12, my lord.
Okay. And then from there, you testified that you then escorted the investigating team to the Force Magistrate Court. Am I correct?
That's correct.
On top of what we have said when we're being asked by counsel for accused number 1 and 2, did you see accused number 2 appearing in a court before the magistrate in Foslorus Magistrate Court?
Manje ke Foslorus Magistrate Court wambona yini umsolwa evela phambi kwemantshi lapha?
No, my lord.
Cha ngizange ngibona.
Okay. How long did it take you to travel from Morocco Police Station to Foslorus Court?
Kwanthatha isikhathi esingakanani ke ukuthi nisuke nihambe nisuke eMorocco niziyofika eFoslorus?
Between an hour and 45 minutes, my lord.
Athi phakathi kwehora nemizuzu amashumi amane nanhlanu.
If that is the case, then it means you will have arrived in Foslorus Magistrate Court at 1.
Kusho ukuthi ke naniyofika emantshini zase Foslorus go ngehora lika 1 emini.
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjani?
And you left at that time. How long did you stand? Did you stay upon arriving and handing over the accused?
We waited until 2, my lord.
Jahlala isikhathi esingakanani nathi sahlilela isikhathi salinda kwaze kwashaya ihora lesibili.
What were you waiting for?
Nanilindeni.
For our shift to end, my lord.
Sasilinde ukuthi ishift yethu iphele.
Oh, okay. Then it ended when?
Yaphela ngasikhathini?
At 2 o'clock, my lord.
Yaphela ngo-2.
Then you left them.
That's when we left, my lord.
Wathi hayi lapho sasiyahamba.
If you had been asked to give escort to the investigating team and the suspects, remember at Morocco Police Station you remained behind. Then now why did you leave the investigating team and the accused at court now?
Manje ukhumbula ukuthi eMorocco walinda. Manje ke lana ke yini ke yenza ukuthi umshiye umsolwa nabaphenyi?
It was still in the time frame of my duties, my lord.
Kwakuseyisesikhathini sami sokuba semsebenzini.
Why did you leave? Why did you now not continue providing the security?
Manje yini ke ungaqhubeki ke ukuletha ukukhuseleka lapho? Yini indaba wakhetha ukuhamba?
My lord, on that one, it needs to be allowed or approved by our supervisor, my lord.
Wathi hayi lokho ke kwakufanele kuvunywe umkhuzi wethu.
Yes, for us to continue, my lord.
Ukuthi ke sithina siqhubeke.
It's fine. I'll take it. You don't want to answer my question. Let's move on.
Wena sengathi awufuni ukuphendula umbuzo wami ke asiqhubeke.
Let's move on now to the 24th of June.
Asihambeke manje sekumhla ka-24 kuJune.
When you provided your services, escort services.
Lapho ke wanikezela umsebenzi wakho uphelezela.
To Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Ubuya e-Magistrate Court yase-Boksburg.
Magistrate Miss
Cronje.
Thank you, Madam. Miss Cronje testified and made marks on Exhibit JJ.
Manje ke uMagistrate Cronje waphawula Paula wakhe kukhona lapha kule Exhibit JJ.
And when he testified that she saw Sergeant Mohane accompanied by heavily armed Metro police officials.
Uthi ke lapho wabona Sergeant Mohane ephelezelwa yithimba la maphoyisa,
of which most members left when asked for their appointment.
Manje kuma sebebuzwa ke ukuthi ke babekisile ukuthi kushuthi singathi phecelezi appointments bavele bahamba.
2 remained behind.
Ababili ke basala.
Sorry, not behind, my lord. 2 remained outside the office door.
Amanye ke ababili ulungisa lapho ke basala ngaphandle kumnyango.
Do you understand that?
Yakuzwa lokho?
That was said by the magistrate.
Iloko kwaphulwa ngumagistrate.
Who were heavily armed?
Ngobani ke laba bebehlomile?
us, my lord.
What we did?
Yeah, give us the names of those members who were heavily armed.
We were in full uniform, my lord.
Give me the names of those who were heavily armed. Names. One.
Constable Lissering, my lord.
Oh, Constable Lissering.
He was heavily armed.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. Second one.
Constable Butelezi, my lord.
Constable Butelezi.
Okay. 3.
Constable Mapumulo, my lord.
4.
It was myself, my lord.
And who else? It's all I can remember, my lord.
Okay,
but it was more than you. Members of the Metropolis who were there. It's just that you can only recall these 4.
I can only recall the 4, my lord.
And Mrs. Cronje further says they did not comply with the instruction of giving him the certificate, the appointment certificates. They left, only 2 remained.
Mrs. Cronje imanje yatshena abakwazanga ukuthi basinike izertificate zokuqashwa kwabo kwanje kwasala ababili ngaphandle.
We remained, my lord, and provided our appointment certificates.
Sahlala lapho sabanika izertificate zethu zokuqashwa.
Did you understand the statement I put you?
Yes.
Can you answer it?
The other members were outside, my lord.
Outside where?
At the vehicles, my lord.
Oh, okay. So as soon as the magistrate requested their appointment certificates, they left into their cars.
Is that
your evidence?
My lord, I won't say that they left. They were outside and they were available to provide their appointment certificates.
Tell us one thing. The magistrate won't lie. The magistrate testified in this court that he requested their certificates appointment and they did not comply. Instead, they left the area where they were when she saw them. That was the magistrate. Only 2 officers who remained.
Wathi manje yale tufakazi ukuthi yathi unicela izertificate zokuqashwa kwabo base beyasuka bayahamba baze kusabala ababili kuphela la ngaphandle.
Ms. Mshololo,
I know.
Sorry. What should I make of that statement? The magistrate won't lie.
Sorry, my lord, can I withdraw that part?
Yes.
Thank you, my lord.
This is the only court that can determine whether the witness lies or not.
As the court business. My apologies, my lord.
No, you don't have to apologize. That's the law.
Can I proceed, my lord?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, can you answer the question? I think I've already said.
My lord, as for the reason why my fellow colleagues did not provide their certificates, yes. I don't know, my lord.
Okay.
But when,
thank you.
Angikwazi ukuletha izathu zokuthi indaba laba engisenza nabo bengakwazi ukuthi bakhiphe izertificate zabo zokuqashwa.
Okay. And it was only you and who gave the certificates?
It was myself and Constable Lissering, my lord.
Well, imina no Constable Lissering phela abakwazi ukukhipha izertificate zethu zokuqashwa.
Okay. Were you from the same office together with others who left?
Nalivele office elilodwa nalabo abahamba.
The same office, my lord.
Yeah. I mean, were you from the same office?
Yes, my lord. We were all from the same office.
Yebo sasiphume office elilodwa.
Yes. Tell me the reason. Why were you so heavily armed?
Yini ke eyenza ukuthi nihlome ngalendlela enanihlome ngayo nanihlome kakhulu?
Maybe before going to that question, was the accused handcuffed when you were standing there, when you were going to the magistrate office?
Manje uma nime lapho nisiya ehhovisi lika leMantshi, umsolwa wayefakiwe yini oZankosi?
The accused was handcuffed in front, my lord.
Umsolwa wayefakiwe oZankosi izandla sengaphambili.
Okay. So his movement was limited, and on top of that, he was escorted by these heavily armed members. Why were you so heavily armed?
Yisho ukuthi umsolwa wayefakiwe oZankosi engakwazi ukuthi mhlamba nganyakeza ngalendlela ayithanda ngayo. Kodwa ke manje ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi yini nanihlome kangaka?
My lord, I would not consider it as heavily armed, my lord.
Angeke ngisho ukuthi kusho ukuthi sasihlome kakhulu.
Okay, how were you armed? Can you
Nihlome kanjani?
describe the manner in which you were armed?
Chazi ukuthi nani hlome kanjani?
My lord, we were in full uniform,
Sasiqoke uniform yethu yonke.
bulletproof vest, my lord.
Sasikhomela naloku ukuvikela ukungena kweinhlamvu zesibhamu.
On top of the bulletproof is a battle jacket, my lord.
Emva phezulu kwaloko khona lokho abakubiza ukuthi battle jacket.
On my side, my lord, is a 9mm pistol in its
Ngapha
holster.
ngaseceleni kwakune 9mm isibhamu
It's inside its holster, my lord.
ehleli ngaphakathi kwesikhwama sayo.
Slinged over my chest, my lord,
Yebo phezulu kwesifuba sami
was a rifle, my lord.
kwakukhona ke isibhamu esikhulu.
Hanging freely, my lord.
Hayi sasizilengela nje sikhulekile.
But you were armed.
Kodwa uhlomile.
I was armed, my lord.
Yebo ngangihlomile.
That manner in which you were armed, on its own, induced force to the accused, I put it to you.
Manje ngifuna ukubeka phambi kuwena ukuthi ngendlela ohlome ngayo yayiletha indlela yokuphoqa kumsolwa.
And the reason you were so armed in the magistrate court and especially into the office of the magistrate wherein the statement was made, it's because you wanted to induce fear to the accused to make sure that he complies with the police instruction.
Cha phela indlela nani
As a quick please, my lord, can we just establish from council what is the basis for saying so that that they were
Any basis for that assertion?
My lord, in the mind of the accused, when he saw the members of the metropolis so heavily armed, my lord, my submission is that that on its own induced fear to the accused.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Let me clear up this. You say we were in uniform.
That's correct, my lord.
When you do your escort duties, is that how you dress in your uniform?
Yes.
Or was this the first time you dressed in that manner?
We are dressed like that on a daily basis, my lord.
Okay. Yes, you can
manje
continue.
ngendlela nigqoke ngayo nanigqoke ngendlela ejwayelekile yini wathi yebo sigqoke ngendlela ejwayelekile.
Okay. Did you enter inside the office of the magistrate?
Nangena yini ehhovisi likaMantshi?
No, my lord.
Cha asingenani.
Okay. My lord, can I ask that we take a long adjournment? At this stage, I'll proceed at 2, my lord.
You got what?
We'll proceed at 2, my lord.
Is that so? Okay.
Long adjournment, my lord.
2 o'clock.
isikhathi esingaphezulu kwalesijayelo senze isiphecelezi ngesilungu overtime. So
What?
sasenza kusuka ngo-10 kufika to 10.
10 in the morning until 10 in the evening.
Futhi sasenza uqala ngo-10 yasekuseni sasaya kwazoshaya ihora lika-10 wasebusuku.
Was that overtime authorized? If yes, by who?
Manje-ke lokhu yasenza ke le overtime kwakukhona yini oyenike leyo mvume ubani kwanika leyo mvume uma kuwukuthi ngempela yanikwa leyo mvume?
By our immediate supervisor, my lord.
Athi-ke hospithe.
Yeah, just mention the name because we want to verify those records.
Cha sicela ukuthi sinike igama ngoba sifuna ukuthi siyothola isiqiniseko.
Superintendent Vishan Singh.
Kuthi uko Superintendent Vivian Cronje.
On the 5th of June now, when you reported at Albertine police station, when did you knock on duty?
Manje uma uyongena ngomhla 5 kuJune eAlbertine police station waqala ngasikhathi umsebenzi.
I can't recall, my lord.
Angikwazi ukukhumbula.
Okay. And you also don't have records,
Kuthi akukho ke la kubhalwe khona.
correct?
That's correct, my lord.
Kunjani?
On the 30th of May 2020, when did you knock on duty?
Ngomhla 30 kuMeyi 2021 ngena sikhathini emsebenzini
I was not present. my lord.
kangingekho.
Okay. And then, I know this question has been asked, but I just want to double check if you still insist in your answer. Colonel Handover testified that when he arrived in Albertine police station, the Metro members were inside the CSC next to the cell in which the accused was. But your answer, you said you were outside the CSC. Do you still remain with that answer?
That's correct.
Colonel Handover ke wathi uthi ke umele ufakazi wathi umefika eAlbertine police station amaphoyisa asemetro ayengaphakathi kwe-CSC. Wena-ke wasithi impendulo yakho wathi cha thina sasingaphandle usaphikelela yini ngale mpendulo yakho wathi yebo.
Okay. You further testified that your unit, the SWAT unit, was disbanded. Is that your evidence?
Uthe wena-ke iqembu lelo senzela lona-ke sebagcina sebelichithile lingaselona iqembu.
Why?
So,
What was the reason for that unit to be disbanded?
Yini-ke isizathu sokuthi-ke balichithe lelo thimba lelo senze kulona?
My lord, as to the reason, we still haven't been furnished with a proper reason.
Hayi kwamanje-ke isizathu-ke siqinile sizwakalayo asikakaniki.
Okay, and when was it disbanded?
Manje-ke bahlukanisa nike lelo thimba leni?
In June 2022, my lord.
Kwakuwumhla June 2022.
When you're defining your unit, you specified the type of the offences that you were dealing with. Am I correct?
Muchaza-ke ukuthi ithimba lakho lo senza lona wachaza ukuthi nina nanibheke ikakhulukazi inhloboni yemisebenzi. Usakhumbula?
Yes, my lord.
Okay.
Ethi yebo.
Was accused number 2 respectively charged with offences which fell under your unit?
Manje-ke umsolo wesibili yena wayethoswe icala eli ngaphansi lamacala lawa ekuthiwa nina nani izinze kakhulu kuwona.
My lord, we were informed that the suspect is a high-profile suspect.
Cha satshelwa ukuthi hayi umsolo seqophelweni eliphezulu.
Okay, but do you know if he was charged with the offences which fell within the scope of your department unit?
Ngibuza ukuthi icala lela elenzile lingaphansi kwaleli lamacala kwakuthiwa iyona enani wabheke kakhulu yini?
As a please, my lord, I don't know whether it's a fair question to the witness. Witness said they are merely deployed by the arrangements between the supervisor and Brigadier Gininda, this witness will not be in the position to know what were the charges and whether they fell within the scope of their duties.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, my lord. The witness, my lord, can answer if he knows. If he doesn't know, he can say so that no, he doesn't know.
I don't know, my lord.
Angas.
My lord, I will pause here with my cross-examination and reserve the right for further cross-examination due to the fact that I still have two payrolls I've been supplied during lunch with other copies of the OB entries in respect of these three statements wherein the witness was involved. My lord, I beg leave to peruse them and then recall the witness if there is any need for further questions to be put.
Okay.
Thank you.
Re-exam. Are you waiting for the recall if necessary?
Yes, indeed, my lord. We're just waiting for the cross-examination to be finalized first.
Okay. So what happens now?
We can, as counsel requested, we're not going to oppose the request. We can stand down until tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes. There's another witness outside. We can continue with that witness if my colleagues are ready for that witness.
My lord, I think for the sake of convenience, it would be better to resume with that witness after we've perused the copies that we've just been supplied with, because...
Is he going to give evidence on which aspect now? That's the witness you say is outside. Is going to testify on which aspect?
In respect of the confession of the 24th of June before Ms. Cronje, or not? It's Constable Lizering.
Where does it come from?
Well, he's also at the same office as this witness from Ekurhuleni Metropolis.
Do you want to lead that witness or don't you want to lead the witness? You are the state. You must tell us.
As the court pleases, my lord, our view is that his evidence is only related to, that particular event, and if my learned friends are ready, we can proceed with that witness, or at least maybe take his evidence in chief. If they want to reserve cross-examination, they can do so, but we can at least save some court time.
Mr. Mgomezuri?
My lord, we can actually allow the state to lead evidence in chief and reserve our cross-examination for tomorrow.
Mr. Mnisi?
I think that will be in order.
What will be in order?
The fact that the witness can come and start with his examination in chief and then take it from there.
Okay, Mr. Ngumalo?
Thank you, my lord. I'm of the same view that he can testify in chief and then reserve cross-examination. Thank you.
Ms. Mchololo?
My lord, I asked that I finish with a cross-examination with this witness, and also I asked that I be given the opportunity, my lord, to peruse the documents that have been supplied to me during lunchtime before the next witness is called.
Where is the prejudice if we call this particular witness and then his cross-examination is postponed to tomorrow? All counsels can cross-examine.
My lord, the problem with me is that I need to consult regarding the entries that have been provided to me in respect of the duties that were done by that witness, including the one who is currently in the box.
I thought Mr. Aloy says it's a small exigence. What is he testifying on, this witness?
Well,
Booking?
just like escorting.
Escorting, yes.
Escorting and to Boxback Magistrate Court and back, and that's it.
That's one trip.
Yes, that's the only.
Okay, let's postpone to tomorrow. Where is the witness? Let's explain to him or her.
It's the court visits.
You're available tomorrow, sir?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. You may come tomorrow then. Same time. 9:30.
I'll be there, madam.
See? Okay, then we postpone to tomorrow then. At 10 a.m. Court will adjourn.